Let's move to other matters now. City Power is calling on customers to come forward voluntarily and settle their debts as the utility is embarking on a drive to collect outstanding debts. The entity is owed close to 5 billion rand by residents, businesses, as well as government departments. I am joined now by Nqobani Mzizi, who's City Power Senior Manager for Revenue Enhancement. Nqobani, good to have you on the program this afternoon. Firstly, can you provide us a snapshot of sorts of the current debt situation for City Power? Specifically, how much is owed by government departments compared to residents and businesses?
All right, thank you so much, Ntlantla, for the opportunity for us to come and continue sharing our story and our plight of requesting our residents and all people who use our electricity in Johannesburg to pay. So the total debt book as it stands right now, and it moved from 10 billion, it's at 9.8 billion. So the number that you mentioned of 5 billion is correct for large power users and for commercial customers, with the difference being domestic customers who owe around 4.8 billion. With regards to government owes us, that is Gauteng department, because in Johannesburg, the only departments that are in Johannesburg is Gauteng departments and not national, because national is in Pretoria in the main. They owe us 216 million rands.
Right. But how does this outstanding debt directly affect the services that City Power provides and can provide to its customers?
Well, I think as an entity that relies on payments from customers, our ability to provide the service is hindered because we need that money that comes from customers in order to deliver the service. Of course, I mean, we would get some grants, we would get some grants or advances from government, and we need to now reach out and get loans in order to be able to provide the service. So in customers not paying or the users of our electricity not paying, it then hinders our ability to provide service in the manner in which we'd like for us to provide it at. I mean, you would understand that, I mean, quality of service depends on our ability to maintain our infrastructure, as we've been saying for quite a long time, that our infrastructure is aged. So we need that money in order to maintain that infrastructure, firstly. Secondly, we also need money not just for maintaining, but also to upgrade, to move to new sources, not new sources, but new equipment that will be more reliable and will be able to stand an even longer period of time. So our ability to do that is really hampered. I mean, with the limited resources that we have and those who do pay, and the loans, of course, and the grants that we get, we are able to do our best, but we really could do even much better should the money that we are owed be received from the customers.
But Nqobani, can you elaborate on the Revenue Enhancement Plan and what it entails? What specific strategies are you implementing to indeed encourage timely payments from those who owe?
So, I mean, we've been fortunate to get enough airtime from yourselves as Newzroom Afrika, along with other news agencies, and we're grateful for that. So the strategy, firstly, is to communicate as one is doing right now, because the more we communicate this message, the more it gets out there. And we have seen successes, I must add, and I'll summarize the successes at the end. So the first one is to communicate. The second one, what we've been doing again in the communication, is that we have been embarking on revenue collection drives, which we do every Thursday. We've completed 8 in this second quarter of our financial year 24-25, and we're going on another 8, which is commencing this ensuing week. So we're going to be going on another 8. That's the second one. The third one, we are intensifying our credit control processes. I mean, you would understand that revenue management, as part of revenue management, should I put it, credit control is at the far end. So we're intensifying that because we have tried to make correct that which is at the beginning. And at the beginning, I mean meter reading. We are trying by all means, and we are in no ways or no means perfect to resolve queries, but we are making some strong headways there. And then if a customer has no query or no bill on their bill, then they should pay. Therefore, we're intensifying that. So that's the third part. And I guess the fourth one, as you said in your opening remarks, we are then inviting customers to say, do come over to our regional offices, to our service delivery centers. We are amenable to talk to you so that we can allow you to make arrangements in order to be able to pay, because we are not mute to the fact that customers are struggling, and as everybody is struggling. So we are willing to work with our residents, our customers, and everybody who's a user of our electricity.
Yeah, but what are the primary reasons that government departments specifically have accrued such significant debts to City Power? And how do you plan to address these issues?
So I think that question would be best answered by them. Safe to say that as I shared in an interview that I had with Aldrin at the beginning of the year, around March, if I'm correct, I did indicate that we do have intergovernmental discussions or conversations, and we have now formed a debt management committee between Gauteng Department of Finance for the payment of the services by the various departments within Gauteng. So that is one strategy that we have employed. We meet on a quarterly basis. The portfolio is managed. The portfolio is steadily decreasing. With regards to why they are not paying, I mean, I would imagine that as I would in my own house, as I would imagine you would in your own house, and every organization would, they would make allocations for services or the expenses that they would incur as an organization. So one again would be inclined to believe that they do that. But with regards to why they do not pay, I really cannot answer that. But to your question, yes, we do now have that DMC, Debt Management Committee, where we meet quarterly, and we are slowly chipping away at that particular debt.
So as City Power, you've mentioned the potential for disconnection as well. Can you clarify the process and fees associated with these kind of disconnections and reconnections as well for customers who fail to settle their debts?
Well, it's not only just a potential, it's a reality, because we do it. So we charge around 800 rands for a disconnection, 800 rands for a reconnection. The process is as follows. Once your bill has become due and payable, we give you 14 days post that grace period. I mean, we say we bill you, your bill goes out, you can get it via email, you get it via post, but from the day that it's sent to you, irrespective of the means, within 10 days, we expect payment, right? And then after that 10 days, then we have a 14-day period where we would send you a pre-termination notice, a reminder, which is also a pre-termination notice. And then any time thereafter, then you can expect us to come and terminate. And then we'll charge you those fees that I've mentioned at the beginning of this question. Once that is done, I mean, if we terminate, you then decide to reconnect yourself, then we become a bit more stringent. And that is the next phase. I think the part I should have answered that when you asked us the entire process. What we are now gunning towards or gearing towards as well is now implementing or effecting, if I can call that, criminal procedures or criminal processes, because once you decide to reconnect yourself, it's no different to a criminal act, right? So now we are now going to intensify or amplify that part. So that's the process we follow. Because once we terminate your service, the expectation that you'll come back to us, you'll pay us what you owe us, and once you have paid us, then your services will then be reconnected. Or as I said, you do come to us, we engage, and then we reconnect your services after concluding an arrangement of debt, which you will have to honor according to what we would have agreed upon.
Safe to say that illegal connections do contribute significantly to revenue loss, I'd assume. What measures is City Power then taking to identify but also rectify some of these issues?
Well, look, I mean, it's no secret that tampering on our infrastructure, theft, bypassing, and all sorts of unwelcome activities are being done by customers. Well, I won't even call them customers, I'll call them thieves, because if a customer pays for their service, right? So those who decide to embark on these nefarious and these unwanted and unwelcome activities. What we have done is that we have now, for each of our service delivery centers, which cover the entire city of Johannesburg, we have security officers who do the patrolling. We also do have partnerships with some of the local security companies in certain of the areas which are hotspots, who then liaise with us and share information with us. Of course, we also employ other intelligence means, which I cannot share because it will then take the intelligence element out of it. So we are really trying. The fight is big, and as you would appreciate and understand, Johannesburg is growing by the day, and the needs for the services of the city of Johannesburg are also being stretched, right? And being stretched in a sense that a lot of water gets used unpaid, a lot of electricity there's a lot of illegal dumping and all sorts of these things that stretch our ability. So we are really trying. Of course, it may seem like we are being outpaced, but as I did say at the beginning again, we are making nice headways. And at this point, I mean, our debt book has decreased by around 200 million, but we are going to get there. Pretty confident.
Nqobani, very quickly, for those who are willing to pay some of these debts, where do they call?
All right. So firstly, City Power has got 8 service delivery centers across our regions, our spaces. I mean, throughout from all the way from Midrand down to Lenasia in the south. That's the first part. But in addition to City Power offices, the city of Johannesburg does have regional offices in every region, because the city of Joburg is also broken down into 7 regions. They do go there and then they present their cases there even before we terminate, because once we get to terminate, the the arrangement gets a bit more difficult to have. So they can go to our service delivery centers, or they can go through to the regional offices of the city of Johannesburg, because at the regional offices, you can also negotiate for all the other services, given that we have 5 services, water, electricity, refuse, rates, and sewerage. So you can negotiate for those combined and then be able to settle that. So we are saying, please do come through. Let's make an arrangement. Again, we're not mute to the fact, that customers are struggling, but we just want to meet you halfway, because you need the service, we need the money, so it can be a city that functions properly.